Hello, Tammy and Sean. I'm going to show you where we're at right now with development. It's June the 4th. I'm going to log myself in here, and I'm going to log Tammy here. So we've got a list for I've got the data set up for the 14th of May, but let's assume that that's the current day. It would just pop up, and I've put in a bunch of names that would be considered as patients that would have come in. We're either going to get this from the current schedule, or we're going to get this from somebody putting the date entry the day before in. So we're going to quickly go through this with making it look like we've done some patients, put some data in. We're going to do it on the computer screen here, but you'll be able to see why it would work well on a tablet computer. Let's assume this person's just come in and they've arrived. So somebody will have said they've arrived, and notice here it's turned blue automatically. And I'm not going to put them in a room yet because I'm assuming that this screen here is just by somebody at the front desk. And as soon as somebody comes in, they just click on their name and say they've arrived. That means anybody else looking at their tablet will be able to see automatically that these people are blue in color, which means they're just sitting in the waiting room. So somebody can come over here, and if they pick up a tablet and take Bob into room number 2, they'll take them there, and they're automatically put in room number 2. And you notice the color's been changed to red there. If we refresh the screen, we'll actually see that from this list they're in room number 2. And let's say this person's also arrived, and but we're not going to put them in a room quite yet. So let's go back here, and what we're going to do is let's go through Bob, and we're going to do local template. That's the extractions, and I have to figure out why we have multiple extractions here, because the local template allows for multiple extractions too. So I'm going to click on the local template, and we're going to fill it out. This would be on a tablet, could be on a laptop, can be on even the desktop. But it makes it very easy for Bob when he comes in. We say he's 5'10", and you notice that gets filled in there. He's 198 pounds. This 55-year-old male presents from, and we pick the doctor's name. If we actually typed in a name, we could keep this this doctor in the doctor list. So if we put one in, we would highlight that, and then it would save them sort of continuously for the next choice. They'd be in the drop-down list there. And consult for extractions of 14, 13, and 15. And what I'm doing here is just going to be picking, and you see on a tablet how easy this would be just to pick a couple of things. We can add a comment in strange headaches. Not that that even means anything, but just to show we can type in our own data there. He's on those. Pick a couple things. Also, parking is an issue. Not that parking would be an issue, but I just want to put a few comments in. And let's say there's a total of 33 ibuprofens were given to him. Now I'm going to just say click to save the data, and what we're going to notice here is I can go back in, and this person here has the local template as red, meaning it's in the middle of the process, just like the color of red, meaning they're in a room either waiting for somebody to come in and start the consult, or they're in the middle of the consult. But if I go into this person here, they also click on it, they would notice that this says the local template's red, meaning there's something in process. Another person could actually pick up from that template. All the data has already been entered into there. If you've noticed the stuff that we put in, even also parking is an issue and strange headaches, and they can continue this on, and they can actually say the data entry is complete. So what I'm going to show here is when I click and save this data, you're going to notice on this other person's screen, that color is going to change to show that that person is essentially done with their consult. So I'm assuming that that data is good. It's yellow here. It's actually goldenrod color, and goldenrod color there. That meaning if I click on that person, I now don't have those options anymore. I can say the patient's left the office, or I can select another template. I'm assuming you don't do another template. Often I put that in there just because you might need to go down that road, and there might be 2 templates that need to be filled out for a patient, but I'm assuming that that's not the case. I'm going to now put down that the patient's left the office. And what that does is essentially sets it up, turns that gray, doesn't make them disappear, because I'd rather do a page refresh, because I don't want the same thing to happen that somebody, they're about to click on something and the whole screen moves and adjusts on them. So I'll change it to gray. We do a page refresh, and I come over here and I do a page refresh. That actually should have come up with the word page refresh there, but it didn't. I got to change something, obviously. So that patient's done. I'm going to log in as S. Higashi. And you see that ready for finalization. When Sean logs in, what he gets is just the list of patients that are there. And I'm going to do that. We're going to actually quickly go through this person here, put them in a room. We're going to see this list change here. We're going to do a local template for them. We got 5'11", 210 pounds. Presents from this doctor. He's got these 2 teeth, painful and swelling and abscess. He's got diabetes, Lipitor and metformin. I don't even know if you can be on them at the same time. But let's just go through it. Now, you'll notice here, maybe you've only discussed the removal of 15 because he doesn't want 16 touched after a discussion with him. And we are going to say a total of, I don't know, I put 15 as a default. I don't know what you normally give patients. We would obviously put that number as a default to make it easiest. Of allotted. And we're going to say right away that the data entry is complete. That's going to take that patient and essentially put the data ready for Sean to be able to work with. So I'm clicking on saving the data, and if I do a refresh here, we're going to notice here that that person's right there. Now it's saying a huge number of minutes. That's just because he's not left the office yet, and that's just, I've got to change and just say not left the office. Normally, Sean wouldn't be looking at this until like later on in the day, and they will have left the office, but because they're in the goldenrod color here, and I say he's left the office, I'll do a refresh here, and it'll then show the number of minutes that person was in the room for the consult. We just obviously went by quickly, but that's why it's saying 2 minutes. Normally you'd see 22 minutes or however minutes that they spend in there. That gives Sean a quick view of, oh, that's right, that was Bob. He came in at 8:30, and he could tell if there was a short one, if there was a really long visit. They can sort of stand out in his thought process of who he was with and when it was, to make it easy for him to review. So we're going to go ahead and do Sean's job here. So Sean will click on the first patient, and there's all the data that we put in for that person. And there's the strange headaches that we put in. There's parking's an issue. Here's where he may want to and I don't know how he's going to sign these things. We can automatically have him sign it when he hits the button. I didn't know if that's a prerequisite for everyone. I don't know if you want these titles to be larger. Again, these are for your own records normally. Now I can save and close, so I can go back in and work on the data that I was working there, and you'll see the changes that I made here are still there. But I'm going to actually say save and finalize. And what we're going to do is I'm going to bring this screen over so we can see the moment I say I'm done with this one fully. When I hit save and finalize, that creates a PDF file, and there it is right there. It gets put into a directory that somebody from the office can print, and the reason you don't want to print from here is because that may have been on a tablet, and it may have been from home, it may have been from a number of different places that he did that. So this is sitting in a directory, and it's got the date and time of the when the appointment was, and it's got a patient number and it's got an appointment number. So that can always be looked up later as to who and when and what the details of that were. But really, if he looks at the PDF file, this is the PDF file here. So I'm going to close that to show. There it is. And there's all the information we put in. You notice the extra changes that he made to it, and he signed the bottom of it. And that would be something you'd file away. It automatically date and time stamps when that button to save was hit. Save and finalize. So when this button save and finalize is hit, that gets entered automatically. So that's how you're going to know when, if you need from later purposes to know when this was written up by him. I can put other information in here, like when the person arrived, when the appointment was started, when the appointment finished, when the person left the room. I've got all that data. We could automatically insert that into this if that's of value to you. But I just put the obvious thing, which is when he hit the button to save it. That means this printed actually means the PDF file was created, just like if you were to print it on a printer and it was able to timestamp that. That means that it's locked in at that time. And so 3 years from now, if somebody wants to say, let me see that document that you made up, you'll be able to pull it out and say that's when it was created. Now that's not, I guess, legally binding. We've not put that into that's as legally binding as it would be on a piece of paper, because you could always reprint something on a piece of paper and change the date and then say print again, and it would be able to print it. You could do it here. There would be ways, and if we need to, and it becomes an issue, there are ways of locking down PDF files, and so we would have to go down those routes. So now you see essentially how this is done. I'm just going to save and close this, and so as the day unfolds, and these patients, and it starts at the top. Just so as they go away, the bottom keeps coming closer and closer to the top, and at one point you have nobody else for the day. This list will get longer and longer and longer. So during the day, you can click on them and type them. As long as the person on this side has decided that the appointment itself is completed, and that's completed by pressing on the click to save when the data entry is complete, then it shows up in his list over here. That's just simply to make life really easy for him. All Sean has to do is look at the stuff that's ready for him to finalize, and he doesn't even have to finalize it right away. He can make some changes and save and close it and decide to adjust that later. But the date timestamp that gets inserted into the PDF itself is the one when he actually says save and finalize, and it's no longer a document that he's going to be able to work with. It's like printing a piece of paper and filing that piece of paper away. You can't really change it afterwards. I mean, you can from a PDF standpoint, but you can even, write notes on it. If we bought Adobe Acrobat, that can be done and highlighted, and things could be put on it. But the original document itself is locked down to that time. So the day goes by, all those are gone. You do have the option of just canceling somebody if they've decided to show up and they didn't want any, or they got sick and they needed to leave. You just cancel, and then you could reset the appointment for another time. We can put more than one person in a room. I was talking with Tammy about that, but if this person needed to go in the waiting room, the same one, how that shows up, they're both in the same waiting room there, but if I go here and I want to look at what rooms are available, it's going to show, I think we must have to do a refresh first. So I want to pick a room for them, and there it is. That it doesn't give the details of their gender and their age anymore. It's just saying that those two people are in that one room. So we can set a room for this person, and you'll see that the differences are when I pick this person. The room here is, room 3 has those two people, but room 4 says at 9:45, writer Kenneth. So you notice the name as it is here shows the 2, and then the 1, but that data can't be fitting in there, or we wouldn't be able to fit them in. I'm assuming you'd never have 3 people in a room. I can always widen this if that was needed, or if we needed to force the time and the other information, but I assume that happens so infrequently that that's not really going to be an issue. And I'm also guessing that you don't ever have somebody in one room and another room just so they could go from one room to another room and it not be taken up, but you can tell me if that's going to be the issue. So I hope that gives you a little look of where we are. It's pretty fluid. Some of the things I still have to do are obviously more of the templates. The fact that I've got the one to the detail level I have makes the others going to be a lot easier. You may want some changes to how this is, like things like you might want a specific notes field to just type notes continuously, or maybe that's when Sean enters them. I don't know if the person who's going to be filling this out on a tablet or laptop or whatever is going to be doing that kind of filling. And before he goes down the road of tablets, we should talk, because certain ones are better for certain things, and there is the iPads that are out there that you probably get instinctively, but then there's the Android ones or even the BlackBerry ones that might work very well in that same situation, be quite a bit cheaper. So let's continue on. And that's right, I was saying what needs to be done. Also the date, to work under any given date. I've just got the date information in for one test date here. We've got to make it come up to the current date and have a list and have a place where that data is input manually the night before, where the whole schedule is. And I don't know if you're going to want to manage the schedule fully through this, or you want to keep managing it on your current scheduler and we dump the data out to this. We still got to figure out how that's going to happen. Okay, thanks a lot for spending the time. Thanks, bye-bye.